Good evening. My name is Kavita.
Hi, Kavita.
Hi.
कुछ सुनाओ कविता? हाँ मतलब हाँ.
I wanted to ask you that in this movie, since you're playing Karan and Charan, and both of them seem to be very different from each other. Karan seems to be a naughty and modern kind of a person, and Charan is a very sensitive and you know, a very naive person. So in spite of the fact that there were cuts and all, but then emotionally, how were you able to switch from a naughty to naive personality?
Genuinely, if he had not asked me this, I would have said it. The 15-20 minutes that I used to take to wear the pagdi in between switching characters, and I used to have to switch between Karan and Charan almost 3 to 4 times in a day. So जब मैं 3 से 4 बार I used to take those breaks to go into the van to change, I used to shut my eyes because when we had a special person who used to help us tie the pagdi, I used to just calm down, I used to breathe, and automatically wearing the pagdi I used to feel like Charan. So genuinely that pagdi was a big reason why I could perform both those characters. मैं वही कर रहा था ना, if I didn't have that pagdi, I don't think I could have pulled off this double role, because if it was just two regular boys, I would have struggled a lot. So I think the full credit goes to the characterization that I got out of being a sardar.
Thank you.
My name is Huda Mukarram.
Your name is?
Huda.
Huda. What does Huda mean?
Huda means आपको सही रास्ता दिखाने वाली, एक रहबर, somebody who leads you towards the path of God.
बहुत deep है यार.
I know. That's an Arabic
नहीं
name.
मैं आपकी आँखों की बात कर रहा हूँ.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, my question goes to you.
Sir भी बुला दिया.
So, we look at the atmosphere outside, you know, like Ajkal, since you have such a great following, you are representing youth somewhere or the other.
Yes.
I want to know your point of view about nationalism and any type of social message which you think is really must for the youth to have in themselves.
See, it's,
because, you know, we often link industry a lot with the nationalism and everything.
I was coming to that only. See, at the end of the day, I always say films mirror society.
That's what.
If we take the onus upon ourselves to teach people, something is fundamentally wrong with the system that teaches people from a young age. Of course, we should make them think. You should make thought-provoking cinema. You should make entertaining cinema that sometimes doesn't lead you to thinking. You can enjoy yourself. We have to cater to a large dynamic of audience. It is not always about preaching. And the youth today doesn't like preaching. And I'm one of those people. I don't like to be told what to do. I'd rather learn it myself. I'd rather think of it myself. Christopher Nolan ki picture Inception. The youth in India likes to believe that they have thought of it themselves.
Very true.
It's a subconscious planting. So like, and I'm not trying to say that I've achieved something, but I know for a fact doing a film like Hi and Ka was just a conversation starter.
Right.
I'd rather do films like that rather than try and explain to each person that, you know, women should do this and a man should do this. So I think when it comes to any thought, if you can plant the thought in a sensible way, in a sensitive way, and through entertainment, it is always appreciated. But films cannot be looked as the torchbearer of bringing about change to society. That is something that is very internal and infrastructure based. It has to come from within the
it has to be
system.
like a spontaneous.
Very true.
And that has to come from a very high upper rooted place, in the sense it has to come from the government at the end of the day. It's the teaching, it's the education system, it's the moral values. It all stems from it's a very deep conversation. A film or B film cannot solve the country alone in a day.
Correct.
It's a thought. The film can remind you of something. Like Piku reminded me about how much I miss my grandfather. Now that's an emotion that just makes you respect your elders even more.
Very true.
So films are supposed to spark something inside. They're not supposed to always be the torchbearer of bringing change in everybody's life.
Do you think that on this front we get it right? Again, like someone for you who sort of works so much overseas, right? And you know, there's again the arguments of how much, you know, Hollywood, for example, it's extremely politicized. They take strong political stands in a way that, you know, we don't over here. Do you see that as a plus or
personal?
Personal or even in a film?
I think things are changing here also. I think people are, to a certain extent, at least, you know, people I know are taking a kind of a, you know, they do stand up and, you know, and speak. And thanks to the social media, they're very, very, you know, they are trolled. There is negativity, but still they are at it. And they're you know speaking the heart out, which is great. Yeah.
At the end of the day, what happens is, see, you are just a human being who has an opinion. You're part of the country. You're also one of the citizens. You're allowed to have an opinion, and you must share it.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, you sharing an opinion sometimes has a reaction on the people that have worked with you.
Exactly.
Like your film being on release, that affects maybe 200-300 or 2,000-3,000 lives. If your film is halted or it's not allowed to get a release because your opinion is not agreed upon. And India doesn't easily agree to disagree.
No.
That's something that, so what happens is fundamentally you would like to, but you got to keep the bigger picture in mind.
Right.
A lot of times, see, I'm a human being. I might be wrong in my political opinion, or I might not be. I might be in a minority of agreeing or feeling certain, but it's my right.
Yeah.
But you normally tend to have to take the side of a majority because otherwise you'll get castrated in public, on social media, when you're questioned, and your answers will be used out of context. So it's a double-edged sword. I still feel we are not alone who are the torch bearers. Again, I keep saying this.
Absolutely.
But what happens is there's a lot of eyeballs given to our opinion. So hence a lot of celebrities have now just become little coy about it.
Exactly.
That it's not worth it.
So I'm saying, does that bother you?
Somewhere in a democratic country, it should not. Because we have so many opportunities, you know, when the elections are there, you know, and, you know, you have state elections, then you have the national elections. So if there's some people, and, you know, the kind of people we are, we sometimes keep everything in our hearts. And then ultimately, you know, we voice it, if not, you know, publicly, but we have this opportunity.
Fair enough.
And water finds its own level, and nobody can get away. Forget India, anywhere in the world, you cannot get away. If there's anything which is where the intent is not what they really mean, what they are saying, they'll be shown the door.
Agreed.
They'll be shown the door. That's it.